Do you have any toxic relationships in your life? Hi, I'm Jerry Cates, the Courage and Gates coach. Today, let's talk a little bit about relationships. Toxic, okay? You might not call it a toxic relationship. You might call it stressful. You might not call it anything. But when you can identify what it is, you can do something about it. So naming it is very powerful. Let me start with permission to say no, thank you to the poison. So back, oh gosh, in my 20s, a little while ago, I was at a Mary Kay meeting, a large meeting, and this director was telling us, she was so motivational. She gave me permission to say no thank you to the poison, and here's what she said. If your friend, you got to say, or you got to learn to say no thank you to the poison. Because if your friend gives you a cup of tea with poison in it, that cup of tea is going to kill you, because that cup of tea don't know it was your friend that gave it to you. So learn to say no thank you to the poison. Wow, that gave me permission, because I had some toxic relationships going on in my family, and it gave me permission to say, no, thank you. I don't need this. I don't have to be validated through this. Powerful, powerful. So say no, thank you to the poison. You don't have to do it. The other thing is taking an honest look at yourself and see how you're contributing to it. If you're talking over each other and you're not listening. So how do you communicate? One person talks, the other one listens. You're not sitting there thinking about what you're going to say next. You listen and then respond. And if you can't do it, maybe you need a cue, something to help you. You can take a stuffed animal, and the person with the stuffed animal is the one talking, until you start getting to the habit of listening and not talking over each other, because that builds a toxic relationship. The other thing is, when things are getting escalated, see, we have this system in our body, in our brain, called the limbic system. And when that thing gets fired up, it takes a while to calm down, but it gets fired up if the stimulus or the toxic behavior keeps going. It gets elevated, and that's how violence occurs, is that limbic system getting maxed out or fired up. So when something comes up and you notice, so that's really powerful, is for you to notice when you're feeling something in your body. You're noticing, oh wow, this is, feels like an argument coming, or, because when we let that go, we say things we really wish we couldn't, or we hadn't said, and you can't take it back. And we probably didn't mean it, but we couldn't think clearly because we let ourselves get so upset. So having a thing with your partner where you can relocate yourself for a little bit, and that it's okay, that they're not chasing you down and you're not chasing them down, because you want to be heard right now. Let the limbic system calm down, please. Okay, so a little story. My former husband, he passed away. He left me very loved. Anyway, he and I were talking about my son, and I felt what he was saying, I took it was getting me fired up, upsetting me. So I decided that I would get up, I would do something new instead of engage in the argument, right? I'm always trying to do something better, show up differently. So I said, I'm feeling upset, I'm feeling triggered, I'm going to go in the office and calm myself down. So I'm in there and I'm meditating, and I'm breathing and eyes closed and meditating. And he walks in the door and says, do you want a kiss? And I said, no, thank you. I'd give anything for a kiss from him right now. But I remember I was so mad. So he said something mean and he left, right? He didn't get what he wanted, said something mean and he left. So now I got to work harder to calm myself down. And I do. I got myself calm. And then I went to go find him, and I said, we were talking. I felt triggered. I went to go take care of myself. You came in, you wanted something, you didn't get what you wanted, and you said something mean and left. I'm just wondering, what was your goal with that? And it was all over the place when I asked him about goal. Then I said, no, honey, and I touched my heart and leaned in, said, no, honey, what was your intention? Was it to hurt me? Because it hurt. I'm just trying to understand, what was your intention? And then I shut up and I listened. And he said, oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Now, here was a man that never said, I'm sorry. He would always say, I'm sorry you took it that way, which was not an apology. But somehow that helped him shift to this place of accountability. It was so beautiful. So, my point in this is when you show up differently, the people in your life show up differently. So, if you have toxic relationships, do your part to make it a healthy relationship. Make sure that you have healthy boundaries and ground rules. Because if you don't, it's not a safe place emotionally and eventually physically. So heal those toxic relationships or say no thank you to the poison. I'm Jerry Cates, the Courage and Grace Coach. I hope that helps.